when I was in prison, I finally stopped feeling sorry for myself and self-pity and depression and guilt and shame and just decided, hey, if I curl up on this metal bunk for 14 years, not only do I lose, but everyone loses. So I made a commitment to get 1% better every day in three specific categories. One was physically. Of course, when you're in there with 4,000 gang members, you need to be in the weight room every night, making sure you're strong too. But even more so, it gives you the serotonin and the endorphins to be strong so that tomorrow you can get up and be strong again. And then intellectually, of course, I had to teach myself federal criminal law, which actually is not that hard. So we shouldn't be paying these attorneys all this money because I figured that it wasn't too hard to figure out.
Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Business with a servant's heart. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk on life. Our guest will share his life story. We want you to success in life. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk on life. We're gonna talk on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are gonna witness.
Shout out to my sponsors, A Mind for All Seasons. Your brain is your greatest competitive edge, so why not optimize it? Just text OPTIMIZE to 72000, 72000 for instant access to 6 quick videos that help you think faster, remember more, and stay focused longer. A big thanks to Epic App, the 4-step storytelling system I use every day to connect and to convert. Try it free. Email me at stever1961@gmail.com. That's stever1961@gmail.com, and I'll get you the free app. Doing Business with a Servant's Heart was just named top 6 in small business marketing. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona, and very, very, very excited today. This gentleman you're going to meet just gets life, gets love, gets empathy, but he's busy as hell. He's got 19 companies. But you know what? He does it with joy, and it can be done. But before we introduce our guest, let's do our gratitude for today. And our gratitude is you are strong, you are amazing, you can handle any obstacle that comes your way. Boys, this fit a guy that's got 19 companies, and you all are obstacles. You're all amazing, and you're all going to have obstacles. I think that's the definition of life. So think you're amazing, be you're amazing, and do me a favor, tell somebody they're amazing today after you listen to this show. It'd be great. Let's bring our guest on. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Great to be here.
First, I got to thank you for your service. You were part of the Air Force. My dad, my mom, and my brother were in the Air Force. So,
oh, really?
I can relate.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. Military service. I believe sports and military, great lessons for business. What did you learn in the military?
Right. Well, I learned to not be a goof up and be disciplined. And and when you go to the Air Force Academy, you get about 2 or 3 hours of sleep a night. So it just really was an incredible experience. I used to send my father postcards saying, "Please come get me. These people are terrible." But he kept telling me, "Hey, this is something when you're finished with it, you're going to say, that's the greatest opportunity I ever had." And it really was. And all the people I work with right now is such a brotherhood of so many Air Force Academy and different veterans that it's an amazing experience. And I'm incredibly lucky that I got that opportunity.
I say this a lot. I'll say it again. If I had a company with staff, employees, minimal half would be retired military.
Yeah,
discipline,
yeah,
responsibility.
Totally. Because of our background, half of our companies are defense, and we believe the same.
So there you go. Yeah, it's good. You're living it, and I love hearing that. What I learned from the military is amazing how leadership is so powerful I was told a story of a general went out to his people, the level below them, I don't know what their lieutenants, whatever,
Yeah.
and told them he made a mistake. And the mistake, if he hadn't fixed it, would have probably killed a number of soldiers.
Mm.
So talk about that being humble and transparent. That's pretty big because you're talking about
Yeah.
people's lives. We're talking
Yeah.
about leadership and being humble and saying, I've made a mistake as a leader in a business. Talk about
Yeah.
that.
Well, certainly, speaking 101 and leadership 101 is the more transparent and vulnerable you can show your people, the more they attach, to the organization. And so today, when we have all these companies and all these people come to me and say, "How do you know all those answers?" My line is, because no human has made more mistakes than I have for the last 35 years. And I think that's the key, is to just be transparent and vulnerable. And and people are crazy attracted to that. And that's how, but also people want to be a part of something special, something that inspires them. So many people have a job, and they're just yearning and trying to find something to inspire them. So if you can create a culture, of course, in the old days we called it the Kool-Aid. You can't call it that now, but we call it the special sauce now.
Yeah.
If you can create a culture of A player overachievers, people get fired up. And it's say one of the things is they say, if you don't think your employees are motivated or think, go watch them on the weekend. They're running marathons, they're climbing mountains. It's not that they're not, motivated themselves, they're just not motivated with you. So it's, I believe, just all about creating a crazy culture that's super special, and then people will blow you away with how much they want to do, and they crave leadership.
Yeah. Forgiveness is big too. And a lot of entrepreneurs,
Forgiveness.
Jeff, right? And that's what you've done. And that's what that general did. I obviously it was a year ago. I still remember that crazy story. But a lot of entrepreneurs listen to this show. That also is true with other entrepreneurs they're working with prospects, with clients, with competitors. I mean, that goes across the board, this vulnerability, right?
Exactly right. Exactly right. People embrace other people that they can connect with. Um, Crazy background story. Everybody, all of our new partners, clients, businesses, I always say in the first minute of the meeting, we all live on Zoom these days. I go, "Hey, do you have 1 minute? Let me tell you a crazy story," because I want them to hear it from me, and I want them to know that we're 100% transparent. And it's shocking, by telling them that crazy story, how much that attracts business. And even more importantly, it attracts friends. And so, the key is, I've always believed, the way you build these huge businesses is you just wake up every morning and try to see, how many new friends can I make today?
So you bring friendship into your business. I call it empathy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you got 19 companies, so you're living this. I love that because a servant's heart, you can love your janitor at your office building, help them. I was taught a long time ago by a very successful guy, go through the sink in a bathroom where you're at church, wherever, and just clean up the water that's left over. Yeah, I'm not the janitor, but just doing that little extra, being a friend
Right.
to the janitor.
Right.
This is so wonderful. Tell us your journey. You told me before the show you have an incredible journey. Tell us your journey, what you've been on.
Well, the quick story is, I was very fortunate when I left the Air Force to build a $1 billion investment firm from scratch with the help of a lot of really smart people. So 3,000 clients, 100 associates, 48 states. And then 2008 financial crisis happened, and we survived that. It was painful. But what we didn't survive, a lot of people don't know, that although all the Wall Street people were all taking care of their swapping trillions of dollars back and forth, the regulators and the government did go around and shut down about 2,000 what I call second tier firms. And we didn't have $100 million of cash to make the regulators go away. So they accuse you of silly things. And they said we mispriced one stock in one of our hedge funds, which was 0.2% of our assets, not even really on our radar screen. And I had this duty honor country moment. At the Air Force Academy, we live under an honor code. And not to be so crazy hokey about that, but it's important to us. And I wasn't going to lie and say that my people did those things when I knew that was just silly, never happened. So I am like one of the only crazy United States citizens who refused three separate plea offers from the federal government and demanded to go to trial against the United States government, knowing the 98.5% conviction rate. So I spent 5 weeks in trial explaining hedge fund accounting to a jury of very honorable shipyard workers, two nurses, and a Baptist minister. And the government was much smarter. They spent 5 weeks every day putting up pictures of my automobiles and my beach houses on these big screens in there. And I was toast. Everybody's 401k plan was down 50% at the time. So I got sentenced to 14 years in federal prison. And it was a very violent, it wasn't like the camps that you see in the movies. Fort Dix, New Jersey. It was 4,000 gang members and one hedge fund manager. So,
Wow.
yeah. And of course, I lost the $1 billion. I lost everything. I was on the front of the newspaper 35 times. Just total nuclear implosion. So I didn't have any choice. I didn't have any more attorneys, of course, which actually is the best part. Um, and I took a job in the prison law library for 16 cents an hour and just started helping as many people as I could with their cases. And I filed motions for over 300 other inmates. And the way that God and the universe works, it basically taught me federal criminal law. So I ended up filing over 500 motions in my own case, what they call pro se, on your own. And by a lot of miracles, with a number two pencil and a manual typewriter, I reversed the trial court decisions 5 times. I removed 2 federal judges, and I made it home 7 years early. And of course, it took me 7 years to do that, but that was 5 years ago. To miracle after miracle, my family, my business, my friends. It's so unbelievable. I can't explain it, but it was a crazy journey.
Holy moly. Crazy is an understatement, Jeff. Wow. Well, what did you learn? Because you're 19 companies now, so you're extremely successful. You've come right back and pulled your bootstraps up. What was one or two things that helped you do that?
Well, like you just mentioned, I think sports and the military were huge things. I always go back thinking maybe God was just training me during that time period to be strong enough. When I was in prison, I finally stopped feeling sorry for myself and self-pity and depression and guilt and shame, and just decided, hey, if I curl up on this metal bunk for 14 years, not only do I lose, but everyone loses. So I made a commitment to get 1% better every day in 3 specific categories. One was physically. Of course, when you're in there with 4,000 gang members, you need to be in the weight room every night, making sure you're strong too. But even more so, it gives you the serotonin and the endorphins to be strong so that tomorrow you can get up and be strong again. And then intellectually, of course, I had to teach myself federal criminal law, which actually is not that hard. So we shouldn't be paying these attorneys all this money because I figured that it wasn't too hard to figure out. But also when you come from the schools of engineering and finance, you don't really read a lot of literature. So I read 26 classics. And I'm incredibly thankful for that. I read them over and over and over. They were incredible. I would have never had the opportunity to do that in my life if I didn't have this crazy experience. And then finally, of course, spiritually. Um, I of course, as many people have, I've read the Bible front to back a number of times, but I also did Siddha yoga and meditation, and I really took what I believe is, and I try to counsel other people with this now, for you to get through something like that, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Most of us can all handle a sprint, but a marathon takes for it. So I was there for over 4,000 days. And to survive that and thrive from that, you have to believe in something. Whatever it is, you got to believe in something because you need to believe that you're going to survive and that it's going to get better. And if you don't have that hope and that inspiration, you'll never make it. So that was the main course that I believe those three things helped me eventually to one day wake up and Ashley is pulling up to the front of the prison like in the Blues Brothers where they're pulling up to the front of Juliet prison. Okay, true story. Ashley picks me up and we leave, and I remember that I left my coffee mug on the front sidewalk there. And I'm screaming at her, you got to go back and get my coffee mug. Remember in Castaway where the volleyball, she says, "Are you insane?" And I said, "Yes, I believe I am." And she finally eventually turned around and went back and got my coffee mug because at that point in my life, after having a gazillion dollars, that was the only asset in my life because I had this half locker and people break into your locker and steal everything. So I own nothing else on the planet. So I made her go back and we picked up my coffee mug and then we finally went home.
Little things. The little things
Little
are
thing.
big in this case. And, audience, let's unpack this real quick. You became a servant's heart in prison, the worst place you could be, probably in the world, and you
Yeah.
started to serve 300 prisoners.
Yes.
Audience, if he can do that in prison, what can you do outside of prison? I'm just going to let you think about that. You've inspired me. You're just absolutely incredible. What a story. I didn't expect that. And I'm blown away in so many great ways. But let's jump into the book. Did the book come after this journey?
So when I was home, I'm trying to figure out how to synthesize all of that. And actually, Forbes Books reached out to me, and I'm not really sure how they knew the story, um, to write the story. And it was quite a struggle because I was trying to tell the stories. There's so many crazy riots, stabbings, killings, all of that type of stuff. But then there were like 40 business lessons that I wanted to help other people with. Here's all the naive things that I did, before the black swan showed up in my reception area. And then once it did show up, all the things I did wrong. So I wanted to synthesize those together. And it really came together on telling the wild story. So it's, as we all have sat around firesides telling stories for thousands of years, I wanted to make it entertaining and interesting. But I also have these 40 different lessons in there. And so it really came together great. And it was an Amazon #1 bestseller. I'm so lucky. So we're really proud of it. And I give it to like so many people and send it to them. But it also has brought on a lot of speaking engagements that when I'm out there and I'm talking to a group of CEOs and I can see their eyeballs like super big when they're like, oh my God, this could happen to me on Tuesday. And so I try to help them open their eyes, but then give them a really tangible, task-oriented list, like, here's what you need to fix today, and here's what you need to fix just in case this happens.
What's the name of the book?
The book is called When Not If, a CEO's Guide to Overcoming Adversity, on Amazon and other places. Yeah, so that was kind of the goal of the book.
Adversity is a small word compared to what you went through, but it's a good word. It
Well,
gets to the point.
we all have our crazy stories.
Yes, yes. And that's exactly why I'm glad you shared it. And you've inspired me, Jeff. So, audience, here's something I'm going to do special. I don't know any podcasters do this. We'll get his contact information in the show notes. We'll get here at the end here. But the first 5 people that reach out to Jeff and mention our podcast, either the name of the podcast by name, I'm going to send you his book for free. So you can have those 40 lessons and I can't wait to get the book because the lesson, I can't wait. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur, business owner. I can't wait because I just want to hear the stories more than anything else.
Thank you so much. That's very
No, you're
kind
welcome.
of you.
So he'll get your contact info or he'll send your contact info to me and I'll get the book out because I want to impact, change lives like you're doing. Last question before we close the shop up here.
Sure.
19 companies. I've got entrepreneurs starting a year, people kind of embryo of their business.
Yeah, right.
What's a lesson you can give them? Because you got 19 companies. I know people listening are like going, how the heck does he do that?
I know, it's so ridiculous.
And maybe you don't know either, but.
Well, so a lot of people ask me, hey, what is your niche? What is your expertise, your vertical, with these companies? And my answer is, well, when you lose $1 billion, you can't be really picky. So it has really been a blessing that all of my friends and I have an incredible Air Force Academy roommate, Brian Radines, who jumps on his airplane and 2 days after I'm home, flies out to Virginia and is like, oh my God, I'm so glad you're home. I've got all these problems and these companies that he has, I need your help. And so before I had my Bureau of Prison day job while I was on home confinement, I would get up at 5 o'clock and just work on helping these other people. And I'd do it for free. Again, it was very similar to when I was in prison. And we got lucky and we had some great experiences, and that turned into so much more. But what I do try to just stress to everybody is just go help as many people as possible and work your ass off, get up crazy early, and do all these things that nobody else is expecting. And again, I did that as a rookie stockbroker a million years ago, but I had to do it again. And when you do run across those young people that are maybe doing that today, it's almost kind of shocking because you don't see it so much, that it emboldens, that helps people be attracted to them. And so that's what I did. I just kind of started helping everybody who asked me. And it really turned into incredible opportunities for me, and then adding more people to our team. And, that's how we built a $1 billion firm before. So I just urge everybody, just be a crazy overachiever. And the universe is going to give you amazing breaks. That's what happened with my legal case, because I filed a gazillion petitions and things, and then I got lucky. So that's how I try to talk everybody into getting up early and getting after it, and then you get lucky.
And lucky too, you earned it because you served those 300 prisoners. So, luck can be earned, and people understand that. This is the servant's heart definition. I could take this.
It really is.
3 minutes and I may do that as a clip because it's perfect. Just overachieve, do the unexpected, do it all the time. I did it with you today. I'm going to pat myself on the back and give you a couple because we don't do enough or we think it's not enough. Just keep doing more.
Yeah.
Nobody calls you an a-hole.
I mean, what else are you going to do? You're going to watch American Idol all night? What are you going to do?
And I do have to add, you did make 16 cents an hour, which is like you were teaching them for free. So
That is totally true. It was 16 cents an hour.
I want
And
to make that point. Yeah,
that
that's
would
good.
cover coffee and peanut butter. Those were the two key things you needed.
Jeez, it's crazy. Well, you're an absolute blessing, Jeff. I'm blessed to get to know you, to meet you
Thank
today,
you.
audience. Reach
Ditto.
out to them. Let's get to know you real quick with a fun improv question. So,
Sure.
where do you live? You're in
Norfolk, Virginia.
yeah, that's right, Virginia. So your favorite restaurant in Virginia, I'm going to reserve a table for us to go eat.
I love it.
I want you to invite 3 people,
Okay.
dead or alive, who've been influential, made a difference in your life, your crazy life,
Yes.
which it is or was.
And there's a
still
lot.
is.
There's a lot.
Yeah. But here's the most important thing for me. What food would you order for the table? Because you're going to order the food.
Oh my gosh. I'm not a big foodie, even though my son is a trained chef. So I would say I'm a pizza guy. I am a blue collar pizza guy. So even though I'm going to take you to the bistro across from our office, very fancy. And we used to be owners in it years ago when the world was a very different place. But something like that. I don't know. Well, you'll have to let me work on that one.
Okay, that's a good start. Who are we inviting? The 3 people I get to meet.
Yeah. My wife Ashley, of course, is a miracle worker. She's the greatest human on the planet. So real quickly, I was in prison for a year and a half, destroyed, family blown up, the whole kind of thing. She sends me a love letter, and she had worked in one of our mortgage companies, and this just totally blew me away. And she said, all my friends said, I need to finally tell you that I love you. And if I don't ever tell you, I'll always regret it. She said, I'm going to stand by you and get you through this challenge. And for 7 years, she drove 7 hours each way to come sit with me in the chaos of a prison visiting room just to spend a couple hours with me each month. And she did it every month for 7 years. So she gets the Donald Trump Medal of Honor award out there. My son, Cole, who is 32, is an incredible young man who I just visited, and my little girl, Carly. So those are my 3 people.
What a beautiful table. And your son's sticking to you, I'm going to guess. And if I'm wrong, crap, I think I'm correct.
He's
Stuck
amazing.
by you as well.
He stuck by me, and we worked together the last 4 years. And so I'm incredibly lucky.
Yeah. And the other thing, audience, here's the last lesson he's serving at the end, as he did at the start. Tribe, community, support group, whatever you call it, is so important. If you didn't have that, you may not be sitting here today. And I just want to end with
exactly
that.
Right.
So
of
powerful.
Course.
So how can people reach out to you so they can get the free book?
Thank you so much. jeffmartinovich.com. And it's all on there. It's a big website of everything. And that's probably the easiest place to go.
Beautiful. And there's no catches here. Go to his website, hit the contact list, and the instructions or comments. Just put saw you on the podcast. I'll get a book out. Amazon's
That'd be
pretty
amazing.
quick. And again, this is what we talk about: servant's heart compounding. You wrote a great book. I can share it with people, and we just get this message out. We're going to make a difference in everybody. And here's the other thing: subscribe to my YouTube channel or any other. If you're talking to somebody that's down and out right now, or they hear Jeff's story, I think they're going to be a little bit motivated. I think a lot, but
I hope so.
At least a little bit.
I hope so.
We do. But you share that link, that gift, you're impacting them. Where they run with it or not, you have no control over that. But just giving gifts out like that, as you listen to these podcasts and resonate with people, just do it. Let's make a difference in this world. With that being said, me and Jeff want to thank everybody for watching or listening to this podcast, and we'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.